I've been posting clips every single day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how's that going?
Terribly.
I see this all the time. And if you're watching this video, you probably relate to this on some level. You see these comics going viral over and over and over again, but you have no idea why it's not happening for you. I've worked with some of the biggest names in the industry over the past 4 years, racking up over 1 billion views. So how did I do it? What's the difference between you and them? Well, first, I want to talk about what the problem isn't. Just because a lot of people that I talk to have some misconceptions that aren't the most helpful. The first thing that they believe that isn't true, they don't have enough followers. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. Just an example to disprove this myth, the first clip I ever did for Dan Janine got 20 million views. He had less than 10,000 followers at the time. These platforms don't care about followers. What they're trying to do is put good content in front of the viewers. And because of the way that TikTok and Reels and other short form platforms work, your videos are guaranteed to get in front of a certain amount of people, no matter how many followers you have. The second thing is that people believe they're shadow banned or their account's broken. And even if you are getting less than that, it just takes 1 or 2 good videos to break out of that. So now that we've talked about what the problem isn't, let's talk about what the problem is and how you're going to go viral. Now, there are a lot of different aspects to massive virality. But for these short form platforms, it really only comes down to one thing. And that's what I want to focus on in this video. Because if you can nail it, it's going to be what makes the biggest difference in your career. So what you need to do is you need to make the first 5 seconds to your video undeniable. Now that has a few parts to it. What you're actually saying in the video, what's going on the frame, and the way that it's presented. The most important is what you're actually saying in those first 5 seconds. All these people on these short form platforms are dopamine addicts. And if you're not going to give them what they're looking for in the first few seconds, they're scrolling away immediately. What I typically shoot for is to have a laugh as close to the beginning of the video as humanly possible. And at the bare minimum, have a super interesting premise that locks people in. And that I make sure I have the important part of the premise, the most interesting part of the premise in the first 3 to 5 seconds. Then you got to deliver on that premise quick. Now, ideally, you'd have something going on physically in that first 5 seconds as well. I'm sure you've seen videos of people rushing the stage or yelling from the audience where they make sure to put that moment in the first 5 seconds of the video. That's what we're trying to do. Now, obviously, there's not always going to be someone rushing the stage or yelling or something crazy going on physically, but that's kind of the idea. If you have something similar like an act out or something physical that you're doing, that works as well. We also have to think about how we're presenting this information because if people can't see, hear, or understand what the hell's going on, nothing else matters. So you got to make sure you have good audio and at least decent video. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy, but just making sure the video isn't too dark and everything's framed up well. What you're looking for is the main subject to be in this area of the frame and keep it there. You also don't want it to be too zoomed out. These are the 3 things that have made the biggest difference for me when I'm working for some of the biggest comics in the industry. What I'm trying to do is highlight exactly how funny they are. You don't want anything taking away from that and getting people distracted. And look, it'll definitely take some practice to get the hang of this, especially figuring out what jokes and premises to start your videos with. It also takes a good amount of time to make clips and run your social media in the first place. So if you're interested in me doing exactly for you what I did for Akaash, Jess, Che, and Dan, you can use the link in the description to book a completely free one-on-one call where we can go over exactly how I could help you.